but I say he's a host too now.
No,
Will Martinez in the house, Mr. Professional.
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Hey, that reminds me. I have to do a story. It's my story I wrote about one of my most haunted experiences ever, and it's actually going to be played on Bridget Ghost Magnet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, they want me to. I sent them the story, and they want me to read it. But
that's awesome. That's even better.
I don't have one of those voices.
Yeah.
It was a dark.
I always wanted to do like voiceover work for like Audible books and stuff like that. To me, that would be like the easiest job in the world. I don't know.
Well, I don't have one of them voices, and I sound like I'm from Kentucky. So.
Well, you could be a character actor. So there you go.
Anyway, I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining in tonight. We have hi from Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow, Tokyo, Irene, and we have Cindy, a fireball that's on tonight. I always spell her name wrong. It's a C with a Y, not an I. C with a Y. Ends with an I.
We love her. Yeah.
Yes, we do. So anyway, thank you for everybody that's tuning in and viewing. Please share this video to your pages and everything. That helps us. That helps the network that we're on, which we are on Paranormal United Network, and my YouTube page this evening. So thank you. Hey, thank Fireball, you. Will, my fellow Sagittarius.
Yes, coming up.
So, Will, before we go into this evening a little bit, tell us about what's going on with Dark Fringe Radio.
We got a new episode coming out next week, so just stay tuned. It's regarding a case of two people witnessing a cryptid and a lot more connection than what you think. It's a really interesting story. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil it. So,
was it Mothman?
It wasn't Mothman, no. Oh. No, but it's a pretty interesting story. So on Wednesday next week, it'll be out. So check it out.
Our guest tonight has some Mothman stuff going on.
That's I love Mothman. I mean, I love the whole thing. I mean, and I'd love to talk to Brian about that because in Chicago, for instance, there's a lot of those sightings there. So I'm sure Brian probably knows all about that and will give us more insight on that. But
yeah, we're going to talk about that tonight. But first and foremost, we need to go over here to, speaking of cryptids a little bit, we're going to talk about Squatch Watch for a moment. Brad, yo, it's my bro Brad.
Yeah.
What's up? So he's been getting a lot of questions about Parasquatch. So here he is. He's going to be talking about. Hopefully, I can switch it over. It's not part 3. It's going to be part 2 that I'm playing. But he's Ghost Bait.
Right.
Okay. So it's Parasquatch.
Right.
So let's see here if this plays correctly.
Right.
Hold on. I might have to go down here. I know why. Because it's this.
How do you bait a ghost? Easy. Old ground beef.
Oh.
Brown now.
Oh.
Which means that it's juicier.
Oh.
Hold on. So funny.
It's juicier.
It's my meat's on the ground back there.
He's in the bush.
I see.
Extra strength, pain relief. PM. I'm going to stick them into the meat. So whatever eats it will fall asleep. Probably instantly.
Instantly.
So you got the sleeping pills inside the meat. You know how to.
He's trying to roofie a Sasquatch.
I did pick up some garlic as a deterrent. Garlic papers off of it. You got the garlic.
Oh. Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
To be continued. So there we go. We got Squatch Watch crossing over to paranormal stuff. So we'll see. There'll be part 3. The next show we'll have part 3 on there.
I'm looking forward to it.
But really quickly too tonight, I want to talk about a show that's actually on Paranormal United Network. Unexplained Cases. I was a guest on their show last week on the Black Dahlia because that's always been drawn to me.
Yeah, no, you were telling me a lot about it. You said that you were having such a great experience with it and you had a lot of crazy stuff that happened, no?
Oh, so much. And I'm telling you, like, it left me speechless. There was a true connection there. That's probably why I have always felt like, that we were, or I maybe always drawn to the case, I guess.
Yeah,
But
everybody's
during the
drawn to different
show,
things, and that's your thing. I get it. Everybody has their own, you know?
Well, hold on really quickly too. Stephen Kenneth said he loves that dude. I love him too, and I have a surprise for Mr. Squatch Watch in a couple weeks. Will knows about it, but I'm not telling anybody else. So stay tuned. Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be worth it.
It's gonna be Squatch Para is what's gonna happen instead of Para
yeah.
Squatch. So stay tuned for that. But during the show is a lady, she does art and she like connects the spirit world to you and things and does this art thing. So I started thinking about these drawings and stuff. So I found out that you can get your soulmate drawn out for you like a psychic reading.
Really?
So yeah, my soulmate was supposed to arrive on Monday. He didn't come. So I was like, I had to contact the seller and I'm like, and so I contact the seller. I said, the soulmate's late. And then I get on YouTube or Instagram. And the very first thing it says, it's worth the wait. A card. So a day later at nighttime, I get my soulmate. So here he is, everybody. All right.
I'm looking forward to this.
And I will tell you, 2 people told me he was tall, dark, and handsome.
Oh,
here we go. Hold on. I'll make him a little bit bigger here.
Handsome guy. Look at that.
A handsome guy right here. So
yeah, look at him.
If anybody looks like that, call me.
Hit up Emily's DMs if you look like that.
Yeah, DM. Like that looks like my cousin.
Well, he's a good-looking guy. Got a little butt chin, very pronounced nose. You know what I mean? Hair to the side. Yeah. You know,
he has some chiseled features there.
Yeah, he does.
His hands up. It looks like he might have a little bit of muscle there and everything. But if you want to know where I got this from, message me because I think this woman might actually send the same picture out to multiple people.
Oh, let's find. Oh, we need to find that out.
That
would be interesting.
So I don't know. What was his? Maybe a 1. He looks like a 1 or a Jesus.
Why does he have to be Jesus?
I don't know. He kind of looks like a little.
He could be a white guy,
Jesus,
a Caucasian dude. He looks like.
No, I think no. I kind of like that though.
We're feeding into your fantasy. Is that what it is?
Jesus. Come on. You got to date a dude that is his name's Jesus, but we call him Jesus.
That's great.
So yeah, if you look like him, please message me. But that's my soulmate. But if you didn't catch last week, please go to Unexplained Cases. It was amazing. It is still affected me, and it was an awesome experience. And I recommend everybody and anybody to watch that show on Sunday nights. It's not going to be this Sunday. I'm like, what am I going to do without that? I don't know. So, but we have an amazing guest this evening too. Let's get on to that because we've talked a little bit here for 4 minutes or so. So we have a great guest tonight. His name is Brian Weaver, and everybody knows him like from GhostQuest.net. He has come up with the best amazing website that you could possibly catch anything that you want to know, anything paranormal, even like folklore and all that kind of stuff. It is the largest database online resource of paranormal for paranormal researchers and things. And he has classified everything that you can imagine. He has 3 books. I believe all 3 of them are out, or one of them's getting ready to come out. So we're going to bring him on the show right now, Mr. Brian Weaver from GhostQuest.net. So yay, here he is.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
How's it going?
Matt Waddell says, have a good evening. So if anybody's watching this, you have a question for Mr. Weaver here, please ask here in the chat. Also, I'm asking one more time to please share this video. We are starting on a new network, and our network's awesome that we're on. So please share. It helps our guest, it helps us, and helps the network. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in this evening. So how's everything going?
It's going awesome.
Right.
Thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Matt. Matt's one of my Twitter buddies. Glad you came to say hi.
No, thanks.
Well, hold on here.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Already, Squatch watches us up.
Squatch watch.
So thank you, Squatch Watch, for tuning in tonight. My brother Brad. So thank you. So GhostQuest.net. That's how I know you, and I think that's how I'm going to have to refer to you. I can't just say Brian.
Whichever, that's fine. People just call me Ghost on Twitter. That's fine.
That works too, right?
Makes me feel spooky.
There you go.
Well, I have talked about you before in some other chats over the last year at least, and we've chatted before, through Instagram and everything off and on. And I always say the ghostquest.net, and it's the whole, which is really super creative actually, to bring up that website, because you have to say, because it rhymes, and you have to say ghostquest.net, and that's how you remember it in your brain to look these places up. How did you come up with ghostquest.net?
I don't know. It was something I mulled over for a while. I had a few different ideas. One was like Spirit Quest, and I looked it up, and it was like a spirit retreat. So I tried to think of something that hadn't been taken before. And then I got a few months into it, and then turns out there was a YouTube group that started before me with the same name. But I ended up keeping it anyway, and then I incorporated the .net kind of into the name because it kind of has a little bit of a ring to it. So it's just a way to stand out. And it's kind of like a quest for knowledge of folklore and paranormal stuff, and that's basically what my website is about. I do a state-by-state list of allegedly haunted locations. I list them by city. If you go to my site and click on the map, you can click on your state and see what I have there.
Hold on, I pulled your site up here if you can see it.
Yeah, It's fascinating. It's wonderful because it really is. I mean, and I'm glad that somebody thought of it. And I'm looking at it. It's great. I mean, especially for somebody like me, I travel a lot, Brian, and
awesome.
I go throughout the United States constantly. And sometimes I have some downtime. It's usually for my 9 to 5 that I have to travel, obviously. But I have some downtime sometimes too. And you know what? I'll be in California, and then I could go to your website and just look up in California and see what spots in the area that I'm in California, I could, go ahead and investigate, even if it's part-time. So this is a great tool. I really commend you on this. This is wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. And it's a huge work in progress for me, as you can see on the screen.
I'm sure.
Over that way. It says I've written about 5,000 locations, but in some form of another, I've compiled probably an additional 20,000+. It's an incredible amount of places. Yeah, those are just the ones that I have information for. The other ones, you can go there. I will say I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and some states, if you click on them, it'll just have the name of the place with a little note saying, "Hey, I'm still in the process of researching this location." But hopefully you'll find something. Kentucky, I think I may have brushed on a little bit when I first started writing, but recently, in the last year or two, it was suggested to me that I start compiling this website into a book. Hey, there you go.
Sorry, Ashley. But we have a couple more. So I'll talk to you later on about it. So
I'll definitely add them. It helps when people give me hints. Matt in chat over there has suggested a few places because he and I are both from New Hampshire. And we met on Twitter, and we actually ended up meeting up in real life. And Matt has given me several clues as to places I could add to my database. So absolutely do that. And I'll add it, and then you'll get a pop-up asking you to sign up for my newsletter. But if you do,
hold on, this is a pop-up right now, right? Can you all see that? The pop-up? I think I signed up, but we'll see. Go ahead.
Sign us up.
Sorry, I'm signing up right now.
Yeah, and if you do sign up, you'll get a free copy of my ebook called Top 5 American Monsters. And it's a short little book I put together just as a thank you for signing up. And I talk about some of my favorite American cryptids, Sasquatch, the Mothman, which Emily is wearing the shirt for, which is so cool.
It's like
I love that.
40 minutes from my house, the Mothman.
That's so cool. Have you been to the museum? I
yes.
think I asked you that. You have?
Yes. And the Lowe's hotel there that's right across from the actual Mothman statue is super haunted, and it was on Ghost Hunters like back in 2003 or something like that. I just asked my son tonight, I said, "Do you want to go to the Mothman Museum tomorrow? I think it might still be open." He said, "Do you want me to pee my pants?" Is what he said. Shut
That's
up.
fun. That's a bucket
heard
list
me.
item for me for sure. And
Yeah.
I hear that there's a festival there every year that draws like double the town's population in. For the festival.
Yeah.
Could you
Probably
imagine?
triple.
Oh
Probably
my
triple.
Yeah.
So I would just tell you, like, you've done 3 states. You've written New York, Michigan,
Yep.
and Massachusetts.
That's right. Yep.
Anytime you're ready for Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky,
Or Florida. Let me know.
Yeah, Florida.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of those. Yeah. Those are coming up.
Awesome.
And I definitely would appreciate, I will message you guys after because I'll forget by the time I do get to these places because so I just finished my newest book, The Folklore and Haunted Locations Guide, Michigan. And the next state that I'm going to be working on is Texas. And
wow.
that's a
that's so much in
big
Texas.
Yeah,
Mineral Wells.
What's that?
Mineral Wells, Texas.
Yeah.
Like the whole city's haunted. Like you can't get out of that place. Like every place has a story in Mineral Wells.
Yeah, that's one of the ones on my list. And I actually heard recently that the Baker Hotel. Yeah, so if you go to Texas, you'll see I haven't started writing any of these yet, but if you're from Texas, you'll have some ideas of places that you can Google. But yes, Mineral Springs or Mineral Wells.
Mineral Wells. Let me go down. Let's see if we have any.
I heard they're actually remaking or refurbishing the old Baker Hotel. It's like a $22 million restoration project. And for those of you guys who don't know what the Baker Hotel was, it was I think this was investigated on Ghost Adventures.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically people who were sick with like I think tuberculosis and even cancer, they thought that the water there contained these minerals that would heal them, so they would go there to try and get well, and lo and behold, they didn't get well, and so that place is said to be really haunted. And I'm not sure if it's going to be open for paratourism, but it's a hotel, so you could always just go and stay there, get a room.
That's right.
And see what happens. Yeah, that's really cool.
Texas, I already have something I think you can add to Mineral Wells there is that Nazareth Hospital, because they were on our show. Remember, Will?
Yes.
Oh, no, that was...
was that Nazareth Hospital? No.
Yeah, Nazareth Hospital. That's down there in Mineral Wells. Hold on. I think that was the night I had Melissa Grubb step in because you had an emergency. Yeah, back in September. So you need to add that there to Mineral Wells. Like, it's become one of the hot spots where I've always thought that if I'm going to go to Texas, that's the place I'm going to go, because you can probably hit up like 5 or 6 different places in like a couple days or a few days down there. It's everything's haunted there. Hold on, it's asking me to sign up for the newsletter again. If I sign up so many times, because I do have like 3 emails I could use.
Yeah, it should have. I see. It should once you X out of it the first time, it shouldn't ask again for a month. So I guess I need to go in and fix that.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry, I'm super not a fan of pop-ups, so like I'm actually a little bit bothered by that right now.
No, that's okay.
Fix that right after the show.
I'm changing this. If it'll let me take that off there, I don't want honey.
And you know what? Strangely enough, I go to my website all the time and that doesn't happen. I wonder if that's a glitch. I'm gonna have to look into that.
Maybe look it up. But there we go. Sorry, you all didn't see that. I saw it. I didn't mean to react. But here's your top 5 American monsters. Okay.
Yep.
I'm getting into the cryptids and aliens and all this stuff now too, because I've done paranormal and ghosts for so long. So
welcome to the dark side.
I want everybody to go to Amazon and get his book here, Kindle edition.
Yes.
There with the top 5 American. Can you just tell us, not the number 1, can you tell us maybe the middle monster, the number 3?
I forget which one the middle monster is. I'll go over all 5. I feel like the first one I cover is the Jersey Devil. This is one of the very first ones that I wrote. And then I cover Sasquatch, the Mothman. And I cover one that's local to my home state of Vermont, the Lake Champlain monster. which is said to be like the Loch Ness monster.
Loch Ness monster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that lives in this giant lake in Lake Champlain that borders Vermont and New York. And the Wendigo. That was the fifth one that I wrote about.
Yeah.
Yes, I tell the tale
Now,
of
is the
Swift Runner. If you guys know that one.
Oh yeah, I do.
Wendigo down there with you. What's the big monster in Florida?
Oh, that's the swamp ape.
Skunk ape.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the swamp ape or the skunk ape. It's either one. Yeah, but that's the big one here in Florida. Actually, I'm going to be out in the Everglades tomorrow
I was
night.
going to say, tell them what you're doing tomorrow, because I was like, what are you doing tonight after the show? And I'm like, I'm preparing for anacondas or something. I'm like,
no.
what?
Oh god.
So what I'm doing tomorrow is I'm going python hunting tomorrow. But for those that don't know, pythons are an invasive species to Florida. They are wrecking the ecosystem. Yeah, I mean, they're just killing everything down there. So I'm going to do my part and go down there and hunt some python. But yeah, I'm going to be out in the middle of nowhere in the Everglades, and that's exactly where the skunk ape is supposed to be. So,
secret skunk ape hunt. Maybe. So, what do you do with the snakes after you kill them? Just out of curiosity, do you eat them?
Depending how big they are, you can just donate the meat to the Federal Wildlife Commission, and you can take the hide. Yeah, they do everything for you. It's really well done. It's professionally done. It's really easy and simple. Yeah, it's not as hard as you think.
That's cool. Yeah, I used to live in Cape Coral, which is near Fort.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, Cape Coral's like right there.
My buddies used to go into the Everglades with machetes, and they used to cut the heads off of snakes.
Exactly.
And they used to get intoxicated first, and I was like, "You guys are gonna die." I'm sorry. I didn't want any part of it. I was like,
"Yeah."
They tried to get me to go wild boar hunting one time, and I was like, we were all drunk. I was like, "Nah."
Yeah, no.
I don't
Guns and alcohol don't mix, definitely.
Only hunting I'm going to be doing is squatch hunting.
Right. And in some states, I think it's actually illegal to kill Sasquatch. It's like written.
Oh, it is.
Is it actually a law? Is it a real law? Is it
in Washington? I believe. Yeah, Washington State. I think.
That's interesting.
I think I watched. You have a YouTube page too, and I'm going to bring up here in a few moments. I'm going to keep it like this for a moment because we do have a lot of comments I'm going to share. I don't like cutting you off a little bit. I'm real picky with
I can talk, so please do.
But like up there in Jersey, isn't there a triangle, like the Bermuda Triangle or something up there, that's where it's said to have like a lot of UFO, Sasquatch experiences and stuff?
A lot of UFOs
there. There are several areas like that. The first one that comes to mind is the Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Massachusetts, that's in Massachusetts?
Right. Yep, it's in southeastern Massachusetts, kind of like southwest of Boston. That area. And I'm just explaining this for the audience, but so for those of you guys, think the Bermuda Triangle, but in the middle of the United States. There's several of these. There's the Alaska Triangle, there's the Bennington Triangle in Vermont, there's the Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts, and then in New Jersey, I can't remember the name, but where the Jersey Devil originated from, the Pine Barrens. That's said to be some type of mysterious area where people report encountering drastically increased reports of missing people, UFOs, UFO abductions, cryptid sightings, all kinds of stuff. Alien poltergeist, people in their houses with no history of any deaths in them. Always getting poltergeist activity. And I'll say one example for, these triangles in the Bridgewater Triangle is centered around an ancient Native American burial ground.
Oh, there you go.
The Hockomock Swamp. And it was a place where they would go to worship their ancestors. And in the 1940s or 50s, they actually did a geological survey of the land there, and they found arrowheads and relics dating back 6,000 years. I mean,
wow,
they've been burying their ancestors there for 6,000 years, and then we came along and desecrated it. So one could imagine some energy around that if that's the source of it. There's so many theories that There could be a vortex or a portal, or it could be UFO related, like a
Yeah.
UFO base in the ground or some just crazy stuff. But there's a few of these throughout the United States, maybe even more that I haven't really heard of yet. But
yeah, and Brian, there's also another place in New Jersey. Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but also I heard like Union City, New Jersey. I heard that's like a hot spot for UFOs. Like it's one of the weirdest places that supposedly there's like just a high plethora of UFO sightings there for some reason. So yeah, you might want to check into Union City, New Jersey.
Guess, right?
Yeah, it's for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. It seems like it.
Yeah. I wonder, is there any
Ley
like
lines.
nuclear?
How many ley lines could run through there? Have you
Maybe.
started studying ley lines?
Yeah, that's another theory with the triangles, is that it could be ley lines, energy lines. There's thought to be like, here's a Mothman example. A lot of people think that Mothman could be some type of interdimensional creature. And one theory is that water acts as a gateway or a ley line. And even Native Americans would believe that the point where rivers converge is a point of great energy, where that would be a portal for creatures like that or beings and stuff like that. So, the Mothman of Point Pleasant being in one of those areas, people have made that kind of connection. Or like Will was saying earlier, Mothman has been sighted a lot at the O'Hare International Airport.
Yeah.
Which, you can draw connections of potential ley lines because of the travel that happens there, the energy, the planes, because ley lines are thought to be associated with the movement of energy, I guess, as well as some that occur naturally, like within the Earth's magnetic field. There's so many theories, and I wish we knew. Because honestly, I could talk about this for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
well, it's water, but also railroads, because they say that I live in Kentucky, and I know that there's a documentary that's out that has kind of like highlighted the goblins of Kentucky. Down, I'm just going to say that the truthful. But like, we do have the elements here, especially in West Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky, where I'm a tri-state area. The water runs, and actually Ohio has water all the way around it. So honestly, the most active places I've ever investigated has been in the state of Ohio. But my town especially is right along the Ohio River, and then we have the railroad that runs right through there too. So, and we're on a ley line too.
Yeah, and a lot of places.
Ohio State Reformatory as well.
Ohio State Reformatory up in Ohio. We have Waverly. We have the Malabar Farm. We have, oh my gosh, you don't put me on the spot, Will. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry, Emily.
Hold on. We'll ask him, because I'm sure he can't remember him. But if you start, do you remember listing stuff in Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, to just keep going on and on and on? Like we have Trans-Allegheny too, up in West Virginia. Like the biggest, probably the top 10 most haunted places in America. I guarantee at least half of them come from Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia.
Yes, I agree with you. Those are all really haunted areas. The Ohio list that I made did go on quite extensely.
They have the Crybaby Bridge there and stuff. They have like 70 bridges with the Crybaby Bridge.
That's something I noticed. I think it might have been Ohio, and that's something that's really weird and hard to sort out and sort through, because a lot of states have their own urban legends that have similar names and similar folklore behind them. So like at first, I went on like this spree of deleting those, like the Gravity Hill and like those other urban legends that you see all around, because I was just like, this has to be crap. It's the same exact story, but at a different location. But then, kind of as I've been writing more over time, it's like, I feel like those stories do have a place, in my book, because folklore is like kind of, it tells a story if you think about it, and whether those stories are true or not, it's interesting to see the similarities and what they kind of aim to teach us as a culture, because like looking into other cultures, ghost stories classically, a lot of times like in Greek culture, ghost stories were like a way to teach you like morally how to be. Like if you didn't do this, the ghost of this guy was gonna come get you in your sleep, or whatever stupid stuff that clearly wasn't real, but it tells a story and it paints a picture of what that culture values. And like for these crybaby bridge stories, it's usually the story of a mother and her child, and the child dies. It's a child that's born out of wedlock, or there's some type of like affair going on, and the father kills the child, or the mother tries to get rid of evidence of her affair, something like that. And America being a very Puritan and Christian fundamentalist nation when it was started, those tales make sense, and the way they come to be makes sense. And in a lot of stories, sometimes there is a grain of truth here and there to them, but in my writing, I try and say, if it's kind of like an urban legendy kind of story, I usually like to.
Yeah, but you know what though, Brian? Even though you say that, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, like that even travels internationally. For instance, like the Cryberry Baby Bridge situation, that's very similar to like La Llorona thing in Mexico. I mean, it's almost a similar thing. It's almost the same thing. Just maybe the circumstances changed a little bit, but it's almost the same story. So it travels. These things travel all around the world, and it's very crazy how even in other cultures, these things we kind of make up these things that in life. You know what I mean?
Do we make them up, or do they, or
that's
do we try and make up an
that's a good
question.
If anybody's ever heard of any of the places, or have had a personal experience yourself and you're watching this right now, please just make a comment. Or if you have a question for GhostQuest.net, Mr. Brian Weaver, please ask, because I know several of these people that are watching are some of my friends and new viewers and everything. So, we do have a question here momentarily. I don't bring this up, or not really a question, but a statement, and I'm going to ask you here in a second. But I had James A. Willis. He writes all those weird books. Have you heard of him?
The weird, like New York, weird New Jersey.
Weird New York, weird Ohio. And I had him on the show last summer. And what interested me is that I went to the Thurber House in Columbus, Ohio, and actually surprise visited them in the middle of the day, because if it's a haunted location, it's going to be haunted no matter what time of day it was. Surprise! I'm here. Are you having a tour right now? No. Can I do an investigation right now? Yeah. So I went in and like did a really quick run of like 30-minute investigation, asked questions, got some really great EVPs. Well, they're like, you need to talk to James Willis, the weird guy. I'm like, well, I like weird guys. So
that's what they call me too.
Yeah. The weird guy, right?
So I connected with him. He actually came on the show, and unfortunately, COVID-19 happened, because I was going to go to an event that he was going to happen to do at Thurber House in Columbus. So have you reached out to other people that's kind of doing? I actually like your stuff a lot. I hate to say this. I like your stuff a lot better, because you have a map where you can actually click.
Like the map.
I love the map.
Yeah,
I love it. Some other people don't. A lot of other people don't do that. And have you reached out, or have they reached out to you to connect stories, or see if there might be some underlying storytelling or something that they can try to connect what you've heard to what they've heard, and then see if there's any truth behind it all, as considering folklore and all that?
No, but that actually would be interesting. And one thing I do on my website for that purpose is I do, in some of the states that I've gone into more detail on, I have a little section where you can leave comments about specific locations. So like on my Michigan page, If you click on like some of the bigger cities, they have like a thing you can click on, and then you'll see like pictures and stuff of these individual locations, and then you can submit your own stories, or you can even link to your own YouTube videos. You can submit your own pictures on there, so people can kind of collaborate their evidence. As for like the tools that I use, or the references that I use, I have used, I think Weird, like whatever the state, is a website as well. And I'm almost positive that I have referenced those books in my research. But yeah, as for direct communication, no, we haven't talked.
Okay.
But that would be cool.
Well, I would tell you, James A. Willis was awesome and amazing. And he would probably be the person I would connect with. But I'm looking here. Here's Chiefland. We have a team down there in Chiefland. I actually have a couple other places you could add to Chiefland there. The Chiefland Theater definitely is down there. Like, okay, I'm going to start after this weekend. Coral Gables, Biltmore Hotel. Yes, I've been there. Or Teresa, however you want to say it, Catholic school. There's a couple others in Coral Gables. Hold on, my favorite place ever. Oh, Davie. Also, oh my gosh, the Davie school there in Davie is haunted. Oh, hold on. We have the Defuniak Hospital that's haunted there. Sorry.
Yeah, Florida.
Lauderdale, this is where
That's all my area right there. Fort Lauderdale. That's all me right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in West Palm, but yeah, that's not far from there.
Right.
Yeah, because I was on the Gulf Coast. But Florida has a ton of haunted history for such a state, because it was actually settled really early on by Spanish settlers, before New England was really settled, I think.
Right. No, it was because St. Augustine is the oldest city in the United States, and that's in Florida.
Dude, I have about 5. I have about 3 or 4 more places that you could add to Miami.
Please. Why does that keep popping up? That's
okay. Oh, the Curtis Match.
You might have to agree to the cookies. It might not know you're the same person.
That's probably what it is.
Oh, that might be because it makes me on my on my software I'm using. It makes me open up a new makes me share a new screen each time.
Oh, okay. That's probably why. I promise my site is not that annoying if you visit it.
What place is this? This has a lot. Orlando,
yeah. That's chock full of stuff there. Jeez, there's so many places there.
Super 8 motel. I'm sure that's cheap.
Oh, I mean, that's like $50 a night.
206. Who wants to go to the nightclub?
Listen, Brian, let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen any of the cryptids that you reported in these books or anywhere? Like, have you seen anything? Like, have you been in an investigation? You seen anything close to it?
No, I haven't. I'm a bit of a skeptic. I've actually, my friend Matt in chat took me on my first real ghost investigation back in September. Nice. And we did have a few weird experiences, like voices coming over.
That's Matt Waddell, right?
Yep, it's Matt Waddell. He runs Paranormal Buzz Radio. He's a great guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we did have some weird things, like on the Spirit Box, some weird, I wrote a blog about it actually that has some great pictures of some of the stuff. We went to this haunted castle, the Wilson Castle in Proctor, Vermont. And I've never seen anything or even, really thought I have.
Okay.
But yeah, have you guys? I mean,
oh yeah. From an early age. Yeah.
With cryptids, not so much, but with ghosts, yes.
Yeah, cryptids are rare.
But I will tell you this, with my first full body apparition, like I've done this for over 20 years. I've seen tons of shadow figures and movement like that. But my first full body apparition, which I have an EVP that backs it up, what I saw, didn't happen until February of 2017. So in the last 3 years. And the place was super mysterious. He worked for the government. He deciphered signals. His house was 6,000 square feet underground. The more you went into,
definitely some mysterious elements.
Oh, yeah. Like
the ghosts.
Oh, and I was the only one in the place. It was a family. They had moved out, actually staying. They were renting the place while they were building another home. They had moved out and stayed at a hotel, but I was the only one in the building. The farther you would go back into the house, I call it a building because it was so huge. It was like a cave.
Jeez.
And I saw a man plain as day with a red shirt, a red hat. He had jeans on, and it kind of looked like Reebok's white tennis shoes. He walked past the door I was in and I was like, I just saw somebody. And I walked out and I looked. I saw this guy walk all the way down the hallway and turn right into that room. So I followed him. I said, and then he disappeared. And when I got to the door, like my whole arms and everything, I immediately started like, let me debunk this. Maybe it was my shadow. Like I was starting to like rationalize, what did I just see? Yeah. And I'm like, I walked back. You can hear me walking back. I said, this is me. This is my shadow. I'm like trying to, and I have an EVP, Class A EVP says that was me. And it was like, that was the first time I ever saw and that's what I call a full body apparition. I don't know what other people admit. I've never said I've ever saw a full body. I haven't seen a full body apparition since then. While investigating. But red shirt, red hat, and the guy died. This house was only built like in.
I was gonna ask
2006 or something. Okay. It's not like an old house. But I will tell you how you got to it when you had to go about a quarter of a mile on a gravel road. And as soon as you hit that gravel road and it went back and curved, and the house is like, you see the front of the house and that's the only windows. And it's a big, huge, looks like an Indian burial ground.
Beautiful. Damn.
And then you start going in. It kind of reminded me of the Winchester house, because he would have like 5 doors to a room and all 5 doors would open. But then you would open up a door to get out and it's just a wall. And then his signal room where he worked for the government, he deciphered signals. He probably, I guarantee, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, at least 30 monitors in that room, like up the walls. You could see where they were all plugged in. So they can't sell the house. His wife moved to Hawaii, and the family was like, the family was like, I've seen things before. They couldn't stay there the last month or 2 months that they rented the house out. They went to a hotel, but I was for sure the only person in that place that night. And when I saw what I saw, and then I have an EVP that backs it up, like I've been there twice and it's been closed off. I've contacted the lady again to see if I could bring a team in to investigate. She won't answer back. Underground. So that's another thing. That's another element, like underground,
Yeah, because if it's underground, first off, you have like soil and rock type elements. And if you
limestone.
Limestone. Okay, so I was gonna ask what it was crafted out of, because limestone. A lot of those buildings are made of stone. And that's a perfect, if you believe in the stone tape theory, that's a perfect conduit for spirits and energy to become trapped. And I actually even have my own theory. It's like, if nobody has died at the location, like we have particles of iron in our blood, and that's metal. And like, if you were to just cut your finger somewhere and bleed there, could your spirit return there if that guy died years later at a different location or something like it? Or could it have, or could it have just been a recording, like it's so many, I love the theories behind it, honestly, more than, I guess going out and doing the investigations. I wish that I could, I could research that type of stuff someday, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I made a comment. Did you all hear that? I just learned something different. Never thought about that.
What's
I worked in a lab too, a blood lab.
Oh,
so
it makes sense though. Makes perfect sense.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, you're leaving part of yourself somewhere, right? When you do that.
Oh,
So
the
why
blood
not?
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've come up with some crackpot theories about.
We should do experiments.
Oh, that would be weird and interesting.
Like weird.
Let's make a
But I
blood
guess
sacrifice for science.
It's all for
We'll all
science.
die. They come back at the same place 5 years later.
Listen, and I'm all about donor, be an organ donor, but don't donate your whole body to science, because I remember going to the gross anatomy lab when I was a senior in high school. That was almost 20 years. Wow, that's over 20 years ago. Oh my gosh. But the person they pulled off the shelf there, and I thought I was going to go in this huge big lab and everything. It was right there. And then they opened him up, and I remember it opening up and his whole body jiggled when they let the case down. And he was like, oh, he's been here for 7 years.
Veteran.
I started crying right there. I mean, it was right here in front of me. I started crying, and the instructor said, I think you need to step outside. So they put me outside and they sit me in a chair, and all these college people were going by me. Are you okay? Are you all right? I'm like, I will never donate my body. I'll donate my organs. I mean, that's what I remember saying.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Fair.
don't donate your body. I hate to say that. Sorry if anybody agrees in donating your body. You could be on a metal shelf for years and preserved. And like the guy, they cut up his layer. Like, oh my gosh, it was just.
Yeah.
You can have my kidneys.
Crazy.
Yeah, you can have my kidneys. You can have anything that's good. Organs with me. I am an organ donor. I will not donate my whole body. No, I need to be in the ground or cremated or something. Because
I was when I first got my license when I was like 16, but now my most recent one, I was like, nope, not anymore. Crazy story. I used to work at this company that manufactured like machinery, like those in the deli at the supermarket, they have those spinny saws and you like cut the deli meat.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I used to be like a technician, and they would call me when they broke to try and figure out like what part they needed to replace. And this one guy, very thick accent, called and was like, he was working at a university and he was using those to slice up the brains of cadavers into layers so that they could like do imaging on their brains. And I was like, wow, I gotta not ever be an organ donor. Thanks.
Yeah. You ever subscribe to those conspiracy theories about if you're an organ donor, that if you're in a hospital, certain hospitals, they won't like do everything to save your life?
I've heard that. Yeah, that's something I've heard. And honestly, I do and don't believe them. It's Schrodinger's conspiracy theory with me, because I believe a lot of that weird conspiracy stuff to an extent.
Me too.
Definitely possible that, like, okay, say COVID right now, they have 25 ventilators and there's 26 people and one's an organ donor. I mean, you never know. I don't know. It really probably comes down to an individual decision more so than like something that's like orchestrated by the shadow people. I'm sure it happens.
I'm sure it happens.
Well, I worked in the hospital for 13 years. When I worked there, that didn't happen. Even if you're an organ donor, but the only time you don't react to something is a DNR, do not resuscitate. Right. So they're ready to die. They're ready to move on. So any other time, if you don't react, you don't try to save that person, that hospital can really get in trouble for that. So, that's what I've witnessed. I don't know so much if that happens or not. Other big, huge cities, but where I've worked for,
like maybe
I was on the code blue team, so
maybe in China where they like take minorities and like sell their organs to like.
We're only allowed to have one kid in China now, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, there's like some. Yes, that is a thing. Yeah. But yeah, there's some conspiracy. I don't even know if it's a conspiracy. Actually, they take like prisoners in China that are going to be executed, and they like will harvest their organs and sell them. And stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
Some people even think that it extends further than that to like people who are just political enemies. And I don't know. The rabbit hole. one. What's that?
That goes
Like,
deep.
okay, you're gonna be in jail for a really long time, prison, and we gotta pay for you. So while you're in prison, since you have 2 good kidneys, we're gonna take one of them. Since you have 2 good lungs, we're gonna take 1 good lung. Since we should start harvesting these organs. Like, we're paying for them anyway.
Right.
Is that wrong to say? That's wrong to say. Like, this is gonna be flagged. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm gonna plead the fifth
Facebook
there.
is gonna say nope, no more show.
No, you'll be fine.
But real quick, we got about 7 or 8 minutes left here. I did pull up your YouTube page because along with your website that you have, you do make videos and everything I watched a few of them over the time, but I've like tonight I did watch the in white, the woman in white in New York, but I watched this one. I actually watched all of it. I don't know why. I guess it's on this computer. Is why I watched it on my phone. Of the haunted theaters in New York, haunted museums in New York. It kind of goes along with your book, correct?
Yes. Yep, that's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have a playlist. So I started, my first book was New York, so I started these videos, and I do them by city. So it'll be like top 10 haunted places in Albany, New York, for example. And then at the end, I kind of do a recap where I'll do like the most haunted cemeteries, most haunted hospitals, stuff like that. And then I make a playlist. So New York has its own playlist. And then the next state I'm going to be moving on to is Massachusetts. And then I'll have similar videos for the state of Massachusetts. And hopefully I'll get to every state eventually. It's taken me quite a few years to get this far, but
it'll take forever.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you're like the MUFON of of
that is the biggest compliment I've probably ever received.
Hey, it's true though. It's true.
It needs to be in a t-shirt now. I'll buy it and I'll wear it.
The MUFON of ghosts. There you
go. The MUFON of ghosts. There we go. Of the paranormal.
Yeah, definitely similar. And I'd love to do something. What's that?
Hold on. I have a question here. Brian, Rick says, what about shapeshifters?
Oh.
Have you studied much about that?
Yeah.
Heard anything about that?
Probably on the West Coast, right?
Okay, yeah. So West Coast, I haven't gotten too much, but yeah, here in California, you guys have some weird cryptids. So shapeshifters, I've heard a lot about from Native American folklore, especially like skinwalkers. What is that one that looks like an owl? I have a friend out in Oklahoma who's telling me some Native American folklore from that area because he is a tribe person, and I've heard of it, and I do write about them occasionally in my books. Actually, my books I haven't, but I've written about some on my website, and I think they do fit into what I write about because it kind of is a folklore thing. And I do sometimes write about UFO stuff too. And, when you look at the word paranormal, it's broken into 2 parts, normal and para, meaning not normal. Right. So basically the word itself doesn't necessarily only pertain to ghosts. I think cryptids.
You could have para boyfriend in my case.
Okay. Yeah, you have that like
that's gonna be my website actually.
There you go.
Boyfriend.
My para boyfriend.
My para boyfriend, yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Hey, listen, if they can have farmers.com for people who are farmers that want to date each other, why can't they have paranormal whatever.com, right?
Hey, I've got several people.
The hell, right?
Several people, nobody agrees with it. Like nobody wants to jump in and like we can make a lot of money off of that.
Paranormallove.com.
I'll help with the design. I can help.
Like Brian will help.
Listen, we can do it. This is right here, the nexus of it right here. Paranormallove.com.
Okay, go ahead, Brian. I'm so sorry to interrupt. And we can go over a little bit too tonight because we don't have a show after us. So that's now so go ahead.
Yeah, I forget what I was even saying. Something about cryptid.
All right.
It was cryptid, and you said it was para and then normal. We had 2 separate words there.
Yeah, he was saying that it encompasses everything.
Yeah, it includes anything that we can't explain yet by science. Like And I'm sure 100 years ago, the definition, what was included in the spectrum of paranormal was different than it is today, because like, for example, they used to think kangaroos were like a made up cryptid that didn't exist. They used to think platypuses, for example, were like
Wow.
some sicko who like took the bones of like 3 different animals and like glued them all together and then sent them to a scientist. Like it's classic. It's, a cryptid could just be an animal that is what a cryptid is it's basically just an animal that we haven't discovered yet. So,
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that modern day, probably people haven't discovered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or and stuff, and that it carries over. So modern day studies or people that research this and go out and investigate it probably haven't confirmed it now. Or do you think these cryptids were confirmed a long time ago? And they go, they kind of like the dinosaurs,
I think extinction.
I think it could be both, definitely, possibly a mixture of both. That's another thing is I try not to be super definitive in what I present to people as facts. It's like, I'm open. If there's any possibilities, I'm open to it, because at the end of the day, like what these paranormal theories are is someone or like even different religions. It's like our attempt to explain what we're experiencing in different, maybe like in little different ways here and there. But I think, and another thing on the subject of cryptids and the paranormal, a lot of theorists in the field are starting to think that a lot of these phenomena are related because, you'll have different like folklore accounts that, I'll use UFO abductions as an example. Back in Ireland and Scotland, back in the day, they had folklore about fairies and fairy folklore. Back in those days, it was typically they would take you away to the fairyland and they'd do weird stuff. And sometimes they'd replace you with a doppelganger and take you into outer space. And the glowing green lights, common with will-o'-the-wisp and fairy folklore, a lot of it crosses over. And I feel like to limit yourself to only looking at one field of the paranormal, like it's only ghosts and that's the only explanation. It's like it's possible that there could be, related fields. And another thing with cryptids, like people, they say when they see Sasquatch, there's UFO activity reported in the area, or
they think Sasquatch is an alien. Some people,
right? Yeah, I do a Tuesday show with Kyle from the Chaos and Shadow podcast, and we come up with all kinds of weird theories. On our last episode, we were theorizing that the reason Bigfoot always shows up when UFOs do is because like they come from another dimension, and every once in a while a stray Bigfoot accidentally gets caught up in the teleporter and he just ends up here like, whoa. So
that's a good one.
It's a good time. Every Tuesday at 12 Eastern we do that show.
So Brian, you do have books out now that are on Amazon, correct? What books? New York?
Yes. So my books are called the Folklore. My first one was the Folklore and Haunted Locations Guide New York, which has over 3. Yeah, if you go to media and click on books, my first 2 are up there. So the Folklore and Haunted Locations Guide New York. I write about over 300 haunted locations in New York, and I list like GPS coordinates for some of them are kind of hard to find. And then my second book was the Folklore and Haunted Locations Guide Massachusetts, which has around 225-ish places, similar premise. I talk about like the Salem witch trials, Lizzie Borden house, all kinds of stuff. And then my third book, which is going to be the Folklore and Haunted Locations Guide Michigan, is currently being approved by Amazon and should hopefully be available in the next few days. And these books are also available for free with Kindle Unlimited. So if you have that, check it out. Yeah, definitely. And I didn't know this until recently, but if you click on the book you can get a free trial of Kindle Unlimited, so you can just read my book for free. It's also the same information I provide on my website, because I really want to make this kind of like a free and open resource. And I want it to be available to everyone in some form. So check it out in ebook, get the paperback. I personally love the smell of a good paperback book. Like that's the first thing I do when I open it.
My
I'm like,
mom's like that too.
Yeah.
it's weird, I know, but it's my thing.
Yeah,
it's
my
not
mom's
weird.
a huge reader. She's a language arts teacher. She always was like, I love a good store, a good bookstore, because the smell.
The smell. Yeah.
Yeah. But really, sorry, it's just for where I opened up a new tab here. It's not
Right.
I've already signed up and everything like that. But
if you
honestly,
go to my website,
I mean, I'm sure you got years. Well, you have years to go over United States, but I have a feeling that you might end up going international too eventually.
So.
And I hope everybody please support GhostQuest.net.
Please.
Mr. Brian Weaver, super talented, and I feel like we haven't really got to know you as a person tonight. So obviously, I'm going to say you got to come back on the show.
Yes,
absolutely, anytime. Yeah, I enjoy talking to you guys.
Yeah, get to know you on a personal side and get more of your story rather than the stories that you write. That will be a lot, be very interesting. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight. Please. This is easy to remember, y'all. GhostQuest.net, and just go there. Here on the side, he has Facebook, he has Twitter, he has Instagram, he has YouTube, and is it Pinterest? It's Pinterest.
Yep, and I have Pinterest. Yep, I post a lot of pictures on there. So
yeah, Cindy with a Y says, "Great show."
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for having me on.
Yes. Next week we won't be here. We're going to be celebrating Thanksgiving the best we can.
Yes,
awesome.
COVID-19. So everybody, please stay healthy.
Socially distanced.
Yeah.
I kind of
virtual Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if it starts to argue, you know that part where the Thanksgiving and the certain family members start arguing, you just like sign out. Okay, bye. See you guys later.
I don't know what happened.
Mine is Emily, you're still single.
Oh God.
I am. I'm the only one.
Oh Lord. Well,
that's why I don't have a picture up. That's why I got my soulmate drawn out. Like if you look like that dude, I'll post it up on my Facebook now. If you look like him,
have you seen this man? Hang up. Post
hang up.
Missing person.
He's in prison. His number is 2465852.
Oh no.
Send him a letter. No.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah. Like 1 year, it was a couple years ago, because Charles Manson's from my town. They're like, Charles Manson got married in prison.
I didn't know that.
Charles Manson can get married. Why can't you?
Ooh, burn. Because Charles Manson is internationally famous. I mean, he's got a little bit of a.
That's a whole nother crazy thing. How women get like all bent out of shape for these guys on death row. I don't understand that. What's up with that?
I don't get it either. Hold on, I have a question too, really quickly. What's her face that killed all those guys? That she was on death row. She got murdered, or she was put to death.
Marlene Warnos.
Yeah. Does she have a lot of guys messaging her? No, I don't think so.
Doubt it. I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
I mean, did you watch the movie Monster? Like, I don't think.
No.
Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did. They messaged Christina. They didn't message. I don't have any more to drink.
Oh Lord. Oh boy.
But that was in Florida too, there, Mr. Martinez.
That is in Florida. Yes, we had Bundy down here in Florida. We executed Bundy down here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's a red flag. Here's a red flag.
I think New Hampshire has the most serial killers or something. H.H. Holmes was from New Hampshire.
That's correct. Yeah, you're right.
He ended up in Chicago.
As am I.
But
as am I.
The guy you dated,
I am.
I caught that, by the way.
The guy you dated or was married to, and his license plate says Ted, the initial TD. It's a red flag. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I saw a really funny meme the other day on Twitter that was like what I picture when I see guys waving at me in my inbox, and it's that picture of Ted Bundy when he's like waving in court, looking super creepy.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I know what you're talking about. I saw another Ted Bundy one where it was his lawyer. It was talking, and it was like, Your Honor, my defendant only likes women one certain way, like he likes his beer with no head. I was like, wow. I was like, what is going on here? I was like, that's the craziest.
Jeffrey Dahmer one.
Oh, that was great. Oh, the Five Guys one with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Oh, Five Guys.
Yeah, I've seen that one. No,
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. The internet's nuts. The internet's crazy.
I saw one today that was like, nobody can tell me how many people I can have for Thanksgiving.
I saw that one too.
Yeah.
I saw that one too.
It's morbid, but it's funny as hell.
I love serial killer stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Most of them are Scorpios. Most of them are water signs, actually.
To me, though, Bundy was the most like interesting because he saved like two people's lives. He was like on a suicide prevention
like 3 times.
Yeah. He had a girlfriend that was absolutely oblivious.
Right.
To all. Like, I look at these girls, like, I question everything. Like, you said you're going to be here. You weren't. But I don't know. I live in more modern time. Back then, we didn't have the internet and all that stuff back then. So I don't know how it would have been back then. But I tell you, I remember pagers. And I remember paging my boyfriend. I love you. With the numbers on there. And he
143.
Yeah, one whatever it was.
My parents used to do that, I think.
What, the pagers?
Yeah, with
my
the
son's
pagers.
laughing. If you can't hear him, he's laughing.
Dude, it's just something funny. I play this survival game, and it's like
he said, "I heard you talking about my dad." His dad has Ted on his
Ted.
You're a red flag too, Ben.
He should have a red flag too. Okay, maybe this is
all right. It's time to wrap it up.
It's wrapping it up. Wrap it up for the night. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving, the best you can. Eat all the turkey and gravy you can. Celebrate your families.
Eat all the guys.
Thank you, GhostQuest.net, Brian Weaver.
Thanks for
Can't
having
wait to
me,
see what else comes from your website and everything else you're going to be doing in the future. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Thank you, Miss Emily Menshouse.
Everybody, Mr. tonight. Did you call him Mr. Menshouse?
That's Mrs. Menshouse.
Okay. Call everybody Mr. Martinez. Happy
talking to that portrait. That's Mr. Menshouse.
That's exactly it. I'm waiting for you.
You're so.
I feel like I'm the queen then of England. Have you all watched that yet on Netflix?
No.
I need to watch that. So anyway, okay, everybody have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Brian, for being a guest. Can't wait to have you on.
Thank you, guys.
Next time.
Thank you, Brian.
So have a great